auctions even worth it anymore? Let's find out. We've all seen Homes Under the Hammer, haven't we? With Martin and Lucy there with their paddles having fun and bidding for properties, that is. And that's called auction by tender. So auction by tender is when you are all getting in a timescale, the property comes up, you go on bidding for it, and then it's closed, and that's it. It's done, it's sold, and it's exchanged as soon as the hammer goes down. Then there's also an auction by advertisement, and that is where a property is usually put online now. In the old days, it'd be in the newspapers, and then people would submit their blind bids all the way up to the end date, and that person would get it for the highest bidder. So in general, a majority of this has gone online, and the benefits are you can do it in your underpants in the comfort of your own home. But do you get good deals? The quick answer to that is yes, you still can get good deals. However, it's a lot of upfront time invested, and you definitely want to do that. The reason for that is when the auction hammer, either online hammer, metaphorical hammer, or the physical hammer goes down, most of the time you have legally exchanged on that property, and then most of the time you've got up to 28 days to complete on it. So you want to make sure you're doing your numbers up front. So what does this include? Well, first of all, almost all of the time there will be a legal pack. So you might be asking, well, how is it can take 14, 16 weeks buying a property from an estate agent, and yet you can exchange and complete in a week online with a auction? Well, the reason for that is all of the legal process is done up front. So everything, the legal pack is ready to rock and roll, is provided all up front, and then you boom, exchange, ready to go. So make sure you're looking over the legal pack. Most legal packs will look very similar, by the way, but you have to make sure that you're mitigating this and then showing it to a solicitor. And this is where it gets a bit complicated, because how many can you show to a solicitor until they're going, look, I'm going to have to charge you for reviewing these documents. Okay, so it won't be much. They might charge you like £80, £100 to spend an hour going through these docs, but you must do it up front. Then you need to do your analysis on the property. And the reason for that is because you need to go into auction like still understanding exactly what you're willing to pay. So many people, myself included, you get emotional. You work out your numbers, you go, right, the absolute max I am willing to pay is 95,000. And then somebody will go 95,000, they bid it, and you go, well, you know, an extra 1,000. Really, am I going to miss out on this? 96 grand, 97. Not yet. I tell you what, I'll go to 100. 99. 100, and then you go, right, let's redo my figures. Could I actually go higher and do all of that? 101, 100, next thing you know, you're 107,000. And it's either your figures at the beginning were completely incorrect, or you're about to make an emotional purchase. So make sure you understand that just because the excitement's there, where you got the guy or girl going, 101, 102, 103, it's like, don't get wrapped up in the emotions and the speed. Make a safe decision. And the only way you can make a safe decision is for you to work out your absolute max before you go into the auction place. When we're at the auction, when it gets quite fun. All right, so first of all, just some rules around that. So just because there's a guide price doesn't mean it has anything to do with how much it will actually sell for. So most of the time, auctions will allow guide prices and reserves at within 10% of the advertised. So for example, if I'm advertising it going, the guide price is 100, there's a reserve bet in place of 90,000. Just so you know what that means is, if you get into the auction and go, right, because we start with 100, and you hear crickets in the background. All right, we'll start at 95, 90. All right, let's get it going at 85. Come on, guys, let's get going with 85, 85, 86. Do we have 87? They'll set it at that minimum because the seller wants to de-risk themselves. So it's worth being aware of that. Now, when there is a very low guide price, you know, when you see it for like 15 grand, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to get a deal. No, you're not. If it is an auction and it's one of the first 10 properties that's going on and it's priced ridiculously low, like 15 grand, I've seen them go for 200. You will get a bidding war. And that's when people get caught up. Boom, 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 go, 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 go. So don't be drawn into that. The final thing to be aware of is you spend so much time and energy. It's a bit naughty doing this, but they do it sometimes. Is they'll put a lowish guide, let's say my 100, but you know it's you can pay 150. And then what they'll do is get loads of interest, people downloading, wanting to view beforehand, and then about a week before the auction, they'll increase the guide price to 140,000. And now they put their reserve within 10,000 or 10% of that. And the reason they do that is they get all of the interest here. Now you know you want the property, and now you have to start the bidding process there. So just be aware of that as you're going through. When you're there, remember, you leave your emotions at the door. This is not a place to get overexcited. And when somebody's going, boom, go, 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 you are going to build up. You get your energy, your adrenaline's pumping. You've gone there for business. You want to seal the deal. And then people get overexcited and they forget that when that hammer hits the gavel, it's exchanged. It's done. You are locked in. And normally you have to pay over 10%. Immediately with 2 forms of ID, and if you do not do that and you don't complete 28 days, you can lose the property and lose 10% of the purchase price. So once the hammer has hit the gavel, what do? Well, now is the need for speed. You need to get your finance in place and your solicitor in place and get their arse in gear. Seriously, speed is the name of the game, and solicitors are not exactly well known for speed, okay? Finance-wise, you really should not be thinking of mortgage at all. It either needs to be cash, private lending from somebody else, or bridging, okay? Ideally, make sure you've got this in place before the auction. Why put yourself at risk unless you've got a crazy deal? But also the legals, you need to get that moving as soon as possible because, as I said, the vendor has done all of their side already. You can ask some initial questions, but in general, it's not really going to go that quick. So you need to move it, and aim for a 2-week completion to give yourself another 2 weeks if anything goes wrong. And remember, you are at risk. So in summary, it is a great opportunity to get an amazing deal, but you have to be one of the few in the right situation. You need to put time and energy up front into this, read a load of legal packs, have your money ready, and have a kick-ass solicitor ready to rock and roll. And if that's you, you might be watching this and thinking, I've got the money to invest, but I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, and that kind of makes me nervous. Well, this is where Aspire Property Group, my main company, comes into play for you, in that we will do all of that for you. So if you want to build a property portfolio, but you want us to do it for you, then make sure to put APG in the comments. That's APG in the comments. I'll reply with a link that you can fill in your details, and what we'll do is we'll book in a free one-to-one strategy session to help you on that portfolio building journey. As I said, make sure to hit the like button if you got value, and if you're new, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.